the psychology today, to a great extent, has pushed us all in the wrong direction. First of all, by saying men and women are the same. Well, you see, most of the people who write books on relationships are counselors. You know, that we see people's relationships problems all the time. And 90% of the people who come to relationship counselors are therapists or whatever who write these books. They're women. 90% of people come. So we have a whole jaded point of view of women expressing what they need. And you go, oh man, you know, you shouldn't be what you should be different. You know, you should be different rather than you are different. Now you have to understand what she needs because you don't know. And you as a woman need to understand what he needs. But people don't know that. They don't understand how men and women are different. We have different primary needs. So I'm glad we hit the point about not feeling appreciated. When you're not feeling appreciated, you're on your male side and you don't feel supported on your male side. But getting that support on your male side will not work because it just pushes you further into your male side. Your unhappiness comes from not respecting yourself first, but then also asking for support and getting it, changing your communication style so men will respond to you in a way that will work better.
So if a woman is not feeling that respect and she might call it unappreciated, but we're really talking about respect.
Yeah, we know underneath it if she doesn't feel respected.
Then, and this has become a pattern in a relationship. There's a couple of things that could be going on. A, she could have gotten into her male energy and be overgiving. And B, she probably is not recognizing or knowing how to ask for what she wants or needs. Like when I was cleaning the house, I didn't ask. I just thought he's going to see this and he's going to come clean with me.
And, you know, I want to extend that. I wrote a book on Mars, Venus in the workplace. And one of the chapters in there, one of the themes is about how to get raises, how to get recognition, and how to get appreciation. Because that workplace money is appreciation.
Right.
That's the male side. And one of the problems for women quite often is they have this belief, if I just work really, really hard and do a better job than everybody else, I'll get a raise. And I'm over here as a boss who has a company, and I've got somebody over here, whether it be a man or a woman, and they seem to be very happy with the job. And I'm totally happy with the job. I don't have to pay them that much. And they do such a great job and they're happy with the job. I'm like, great. Why am I going to offer more money? It just means more money for me. So when that woman then says to me, I just want to have a conversation with you. And she says, I want you to know that in the beginning, I was able to do this and this, and I got paid this. And then now I'm able to do this. I'm doing this. I'm saving the money here and I've accomplished this and I'll show you my achievements. So I think a raise is very appropriate. And what I would like is this. And then if you get a no, then you basically go, you don't get upset and feel betrayed, because who wants to hire somebody who feels betrayed by you? Then you say, well, what will it take for me to move towards that goal that I have? Give them a chance to say what it would take. So you basically, it's all negotiation skills. The same things in the workplace. We have to have better negotiating skills, but at home, we need negotiating skills. And often we think this naive thought that if you love me, I don't have to negotiate. No, right. This is part of life. It's weighing the pros and cons of every situation. You know, why do we do it your way when I want to do it another way? Well, when it comes to romance, she's prime. She's prime. And when she gets the emotional support to raise her estrogen, then you can shift gears in your negotiation to, okay, how important is this to you? How important is this to me? And you just happily go with whoever it's most important to. But when there's negative emotions involved on either side, you can't negotiate. Everything will be wrong. Nobody wins. When you have positive feelings and you're able to hear the other person's point of view, your point of view, and then they say, well, okay, I see this is more important to you, so I'm going to make this change for you. Then you get credit for it, you see, as opposed to you're right, and therefore I should do it your way. No, this is what would work for you. This is what works for me, but I'm happy to do this because I love you so much. Then it's sweet. See, it's not like you should. We want to take the shoulds out and just look at what works, what doesn't work.
Right. Yes, should. That kind of is a word. If we're thinking he should or she should be doing it this way, that might be a clue right there, that word.
Yeah. Oh, that's a telling point. And another telling point is just simply blame. Men blame women for not being happy. Women blame men for not being attentive, not being supportive, ignoring, neglect. You see, these are just automatic reactions from our male and female sides. And if a woman says, no, I'm more like the man, then you are more like the man. And therefore, your job, if you want to be happy and get more in life, is how to get back to your female and then start practicing the skills of increasing feminine energy inside of you, which is missing today, as well as for men to practice the skills of increasing their masculine energy. It's just gone now. The testosterone levels in men are 20% lower than 20 years ago. 20% lower.
That's incredible.
It's
and
a
scary.
devastation. And it was already low then. Okay. And now, whatever your age group is, there's averages for every age group. It's always going down for men. But now at every age group, like it used to go up to 35, and then it would start going down. Now at 22, it's 1% less than when you were at 21. It's just going down all the time after you hit puberty. It's crazy what's happening here. Men are losing their masculinity and women are losing their femininity. And it's hard to feel feminine when you have a weak man. It's hard for a man to be powerful if the woman is not capable of needing his help and appreciating his help, because we thrive on appreciation.
Is this decrease in testosterone that you're describing here, John, is this because we've been, as a society, for a period of time, we've been kind of taught that men and women are the same, there's not really any differences, and kind of the changing roles in terms of more women out there in the workforce and competing with men or even excelling over men? What's the cause for that?
Well, as with anything significant, there's many, many conditions and causes. But I would, if I could, from my experience, I would say the number one cause is the shifting of roles. You see, for thousands of years, we have to look at history. Although the past has many dysfunctions in it, it got us to where we are now. So what cultures did all the way back to when I go into the jungles and study, I lived in the Ashwar Indians in the rainforest, go to Africa, see families there. What you see is more ancient ways of living. And what you don't see is the hostility between men and women. You don't see that at all. Okay. You see bonding that happens. They don't have the romance that we want, but at the same time, they don't have the discord. And you go back to Romeo and Juliet. Women are often saying, why aren't men romantic? What happened? They never were. Romeo and Juliet, they killed themselves. They died a day after they got married. They would have been like everybody else. You lose the passion, the romance goes away. It's called the honeymoon period, where there's 3 years, 7 years, now 3 dates, it goes away because familiarity sets in, and now your testosterone doesn't get produced as much. You need more dopamine, newness to stimulate the testosterone if you're a weak male. If you're in touch with your masculinity without depending on a woman, then a woman makes you feel more masculine if she appreciates you. She brings you from happy to happier. A man can take a happy woman to ecstasy. She can't do it herself. You need the opposite sex, period. That's my wisdom. That's my perspective of the world, because it's through somebody else that you find the peace within you. By loving a man, you begin to love the masculine in you, and you're also feminine at the same time. By loving the woman, treating her with such respect, such adoration, such caring, I'm understanding her side. I'm relating to her side. And if I can relate to it, that means I'm experiencing her in me. And I'm also this man. Okay. I haven't given up my masculinity at all. That's how I became so balanced in terms of integrating. That's how I understand all these differences between men and women to a great extent. I had 8 hours a day, women talking about their problems, and none of them were the problems I experienced or any of my male friends. Their complaints were different from men's. It's as simple as that. So let's analyze what their unhappiness comes from. And that's not been figured out today. So you ask what's causing it. All this history is a culture that told men you had to provide for women. And women didn't pick a man unless he mastered the skills, the self-mastery to provide for a woman. That pumped his testosterone up. The competence. I have to prove to a woman, I have to find a woman who feels safe with me, who feels I can take care of her as she has a baby, she's raising children. When you're in the Ashwar Indians in South America, most of the women were holding babies and pregnant. Okay, this is what they do. They'd have birth control and they're all free. They don't have TV to distract them from having sex. So they're making babies all the time. So when you have babies, you need a man to go into the jungle. You need a man to get in there and do the dirty, dangerous, difficult stuff. That's called a role mate relationship. We men have a role as men. We don't do female things. And women do the gardening, the cooking, the cleaning, the raising the kids, and they're happy with that. And if a man tries to help them, they spit at him. They're disgusted with him. Get out of the garden. Don't cook the food.
Really?
Yes, yes. And the same thing happens today with women. When men go to their female side and start complaining, you just become disgusted with him.
Right.
You need a guy who's strong like a tree. The wind blows and he's anchored into that. That's masculinity. There's these talks on the internet from university professors saying, oh, poor men, they have to be so tough. They have to be difficult. They have to be grounded. They can't be reactive. They don't share their emotions. I said, what a turnoff you are. You're absolutely disgusting to my female side. It's just, phew. So this is what happens when men are too feminine. So women cannot be turned on to them. Or in the beginning, it can happen. There's always exceptions to then work around. Many women who are way on their male side will be attracted to a weak male, to a feminized man. Why? Because that female is what she wants to connect with. Okay. It's through relating with someone, you get to go to the side of you, which is like them. So you like her, or she likes him. So he has these feminine qualities. Maybe he always is romantic. He likes flowers. He dresses up. He's very considerate. He's very sensitive. Then that's all exciting until you have sex. And once you have sex, it's because she felt safe enough to go to her female receptive side. And now she's on her female side. He's on his female side. And if you know anything about magnetism, a negative polarity plus a negative polarity creates repulsion.
Right.
You get close, and then suddenly it's like, well, that's what's happening today in role reversal. Women are more masculine, men are more feminine. And so we get close. Once we get close a few times, now it's like, we start seeing all the problems in a relationship. We don't want to get close. Our mind focuses on anything to justify not getting close to that person. That's when your mind is remembering his mistakes. That's when he's remembering her mistakes. You see, instead of being present time, let it go, move forward, learn your lessons. And you can't do that without this knowledge. You have to realize in every upset in a relationship, if you can't see yourself as an equal partner in the problem, you won't forgive, and the problem will just get worse because you're not going to change. You want equality? If you have problems, you're an equal part of the problem. And if you don't know what you are, you can read this book, or you can pay me, spend an hour, and I'll tell you everything you're doing wrong.
Right.
If I don't do that, you can't change and create a different reality.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if we're looking outward and saying he's the one that needs to change, it's all his fault. He's going to, first of all, probably feel that that's what you're thinking. You might even have said it to him.
He'll feel it more if you don't say it.
Oh, he'll say it.
Then there's nothing for him to even defend against. You see, women think they're so good because they hate their partners. They're mad at their partners. They feel disappointed by their partners. They question whether I want to be with my partner, but they don't tell them. So they think it doesn't count. No, it counts more because there's nothing he can do to even fix the problem and solve it, or at least defend himself from that negativity thrown at him.
And he can feel it. He can feel it even if she's not saying it. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.